Hey guys, before the video begins, I'd like you to know that I have a Twitter account over at @carthusdojo. Go ahead, follow me, tweet at me, and I'll reply to anything you send my way. Now, video intro. Hello and welcome to another episode of Everything Important. This is the series where I tell you the important things that happened in the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super. This week is episode 111, so let's jump into it. Right at the start of the episode, we are where the 1 hour special left off, Frieza pointing an energy blast at Goku. However, as I'm sure everyone was surprised by, Frieza gave Goku some energy and says this repays his debt from Namek. But he also wants Goku to beat Jiren because Frieza knows he can't do it himself. Pretty interesting to see Frieza use Goku as a way to further his own goals. To be fair though, this isn't the first time Frieza used Saiyans to achieve his goals. Despite Hit's best efforts, he is unable to even remotely damage Jiren. His time skip and what I'll call time store, if there is a canon name for this ability, please let me know in the comments, have no effect. As we saw when Hit fought Goku in the Universe 6 tournament, if your opponent's strength surpasses your own by a high enough level, time skip can be broken and predicted fairly easily. Obviously, Jiren is minimum tens of times stronger than Hit, and that would make it fairly easy for him to dominate this fight. The two Namekians join the fight, and I am very excited to see them in action. They'll be fighting Gohan and Piccolo in the next episode. Hopefully, this fight isn't too short and we get something cool out of it. I really did hope that this would be a Piccolo moment, but I guess we need to have more of the Gohan team up. If this really is the direction for Gohan and Piccolo in this tournament, then I do think that Toyotaro made the right move in giving Gohan Piccolo's dogi to wear. Either way, it should be fun to see these two in action. Well, I guess seeing Ribrianne slapped was pretty enjoyable, but Universe 2 has overstayed their welcome in my opinion. All their fighters are weaker than suppressed base form Goku and Vegeta, and they have contributed nothing of interest to this arc so far. I was honestly expecting these two to get blown away during their emotional speech by Vegeta, because a joke like that felt innately Toriyama. As the fight becomes seemingly more one-sided by the second, Hit has had enough time to memorize Jiren's movement patterns, and to land one attack on him. Despite Hit being no match for Jiren's strength, this attack is something that doesn't rely on strength. Hit simply puts the person he strikes into a time cage, which allows him to hold that person in place so long as he focuses. The way this works is briefly explained by Vados. She says that Hit is constantly using time skip on Jiren, which would freeze time for only Jiren and not on the rest of the arena. This doesn't actually allow Hit to eliminate him, however. Hit is merely keeping Jiren stuck in place for the remainder of the tournament and is relying on the rest of Team Universe 6 to get enough knockouts as to ensure their survival. This is very unlike the solitary assassin we once knew. This point does have to do with the last one, but it's entirely based off the strength that Hit thinks he has. Remember, Hit saw what happened in the special. Jiren was able to swap hands with Ultra Instinct's Goku, who was a power that potentially surpassed the Gods of Destruction. Even after seeing this, Hit thought that Time Cage would be enough to at least restrain Jiren, and that's pretty crazy. What happens next is even more crazy. Jiren breaks out of the time cage, and Vados says that Jiren's power transcends time. That is crazy. I want people to know that Vados isn't saying maybe he transcends time or it's possible his strength exceeds time. She says that this means he 100% transcends time, which would make Jiren either low 5th dimensional or really, really high 4th dimensional, but that's something I'll leave Seth the programmer to explain in further detail. Hit is eliminated by the absolute powerhouse that is Jiren. Hit even claims that he knew it was over once he couldn't beat him in the one hit. This is the biggest loss for Universe 6 and also makes those figures that everyone has been talking about more confusing. If Hit is supposed to be part of the Universal Survival Climax arc, and Hit's not in the tournament, then how does that work? We'll have to wait and see. Hit's defeat marks the halfway point of the tournament, and with this, the Grand Priest turns the sky green. However, this is not only for the arena, but the entire world of Void. The Grand Priest shifts the color of the world of infinite nothingness by raising his hand. I think that's fairly impressive. Also, I could see this potentially marking a change in the rules that we may get further information about in the future episode. Perhaps the return of flying? Finally, after dispatching Hit, Jiren tells Toppo and Dispo that he's leaving the rest to them, because the warriors he was needed for are already defeated. Jiren then proceeds to meditate in the arena like it's no big deal. Interestingly, only Hit and Goku struck Jiren as remotely powerful. This means that Vegeta wasn't even on the radar, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the prince will prove him wrong. But that's it. Everything important in episode 111. Now, as I do every week, it's time for my ramblings and review. So this is a big come-down episode, obviously. We had a really amazing 2 episodes, I'd say, both episodes being incredibly well done last week. And now we're sort of back to standard quality at the very least. And some people would say this is subpar quality, this episode. I thought it was a little all over the place in terms of animation quality, though direction was pretty good. Movement wasn't really a thing, a lot of shaky camera with still images, but it still looked good. The artwork at the very least, and to probably people like me who do know about animation at least a little bit, but don't care too much as long as it looks good, it looks pretty, then I'd say this looked like a good episode. I heard a lot of people saying that the episode was boring, and I don't really think it was. I thought it was interesting to see how Hit developed and was trying to evolve his strategy to fight this opponent, but I can agree that it felt like the entire time that Hit had no chance, and there was definitely no time to ever think that Hit had a chance of succeeding. If Jiren really is supposed to meditate for the rest of this tournament until, Goku limit breakers again, or Vegeta comes back with some new ability, technique/transformation, something, then I have to wonder, why not just have Hit keep him in the time cage for a long period of time and have him break out later? That would have made Hit seem much more interesting. It would have given us a really cool thing to watch on the screen. Every episode, the little bit of movement that Jiren's doing every couple of minutes. Because remember, these episodes take like 2 minutes at a time, and it's only been 1 minute since the 1 hour special. I mean, come on, you could have had him hold him for a couple of episodes and then break out. And then it's like, oh crap. And now Jiren eliminates Hit, you know what I mean? It's fine in terms of storytelling to have it this way, but I think we could have had Hit in a little bit longer and have him focus on holding Jiren in place. I thought that would have been really, really cool. I like the sort of one man guards a great threat dynamic that you get in a lot of fantasy stories where, one person guards the gates to some great evil. It could have been a similar dynamic here, and I think it would have worked really well, but it didn't go that way, and Hit is unfortunately eliminated. But we do have some good stuff to look forward to next week, more Vegeta development with Kaba, and more Frieza action. Also, the Namekians we'll get to see in action as well, and I do have some thoughts about them that I really didn't even think about before, but it could be really important later on. So, check out that video when it drops, and I'll probably link it here when it does. But yeah, I think this episode was good, not great. It wasn't going to blow my socks off, and I knew that going in, and I was ready to not have my socks blown off. But what did you guys think? Leave your opinions and counterpoints in the comments down below, and subscribe if you want more Dragon Ball videos. But for now, video outro!